Hey everybody, it is your girl, Genuinely Divine here, coming at you today with a video all about Moon in Capricorn. If you do not know your moon sign, please click the birth chart link on my channel. You will need your time of birth, your city and state in which you were born to attain that information. So stay tuned, you guys, and I'll be right back. Guys, welcome back. And what is moon? Moon is the celestial body that represents the sign Cancer. Cancer rules the fourth house, the house of tradition, family values, and the mother. What happens when Capricorn is in your moon? When your moon is in Capricorn? Moon represents the mother. Capricorn being opposite to Cancer. Where Cancer is emotional, Capricorns are usually emotionless. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, a planet of restrictions, lack of maturity, cold, discipline, the father. Yeah, that planet that sets boundaries. Okay. What happens when Capricorn, when your moon is in the sign of Capricorn? It could be a very challenging placement. Also, during your during your childhood, your upbringing, your mother was probably very, very restrictive. Your mother was probably the disciplinarian. She was probably the one that poured out the discipline. Even if you had a two-parent home, it was probably your mother that disciplined the children. Your mother restricted your childhood some type of way. Your mother probably set a lot of structure when you were a kid. When you got out of school, instead of you going to play and hang out with your friends, you had a routine life. You had to take on the responsibility of an adult at a very young age. Maybe your mother worked all the time and you were the oldest sibling or the only kind, like the only girl or the only boy in the family, and you had to take on the responsibilities of your younger siblings or the household duties because your mother had to work to provide for the family. So with that being said, you didn't get to hang out with your friends as much as somebody with a Taurus moon or something, okay? So with this being said, you were a little old person when you were a young person, when you were young in age. That is why Capricorns are known to age backwards. You're very old when you're young, and you're very young when you're older. What happens when Saturn comes in and restricts your childhood? It restricts you from being a kid. It delays things in your life. Maybe you had a lack of, where other kids had the latest gadgets and things of that nature. Your mother had a lack of. Maybe she wasn't able to provide you with those things. Or if she did, maybe you didn't get it on time. Maybe they had this new game system that came out and you really wanted this game system. Everybody has the game system, and you asked your mom about it. She was like, well, I don't have the money right now, you know. And maybe you got it, but it was after it wasn't popular anymore, okay? So things of that nature could have happened in your childhood. You had to take on the responsibilities of an adult at a very early age. However that happened for you, it varies for each lunar Capricorn, okay? You also have different aspects and conjunctions and degrees that also adds another layer to who you are as a individual with this placement. Lunar Capricorn are the type of people, they work. They're not afraid of hard work. And it was due to your restrictions when you were a kid and that structure that your mother placed for you. And those boundaries that were set for you. You realize in your life at a very early age that in order to have anything in this world, you're gonna have to work for it. So you probably were the type of kid that when you were old enough to work, you were working, making money, and you probably helped to provide for your household. Taking on the responsibilities of an adult. Acting old when you're just a kid. Maybe you're, as you got to be an adult, you probably had to save your parents from a financial situation, help them out in a financial situation. Mainly the mother, because the moon represents the mother. Whatever your situation could have been, you were very responsible. Growing up and being really responsible, it helps you to become a very responsible adult. And being a responsible adult, you're always at work on time. You don't like to be late for work. If you're this lunar Capricorns are the type of people, if they're late for work because if something happens out of their own doing, these are the type of people that you'll probably find crying or really upset, really frustrated that they cannot be to work on time. And they could have, and there could be no type of trouble because they were late, because they're usually always on time. So they're probably not going to be any type of consequences that they're going to have to face. But because it is personal and it's their work, they're very passionate about their work, their job. And so these are the type of people that probably wouldn't cry because, you know, they are no longer going to have their best friend. But these are the type of people who will cry because they are 5 minutes late for work. Yeah. Because Capricorn is all about duty. Working. These people love to work, or they love their work. Either way, they have this passion connected to their work. With Capricorn being opposite to Cancer, Cancer being emotional, Capricorn being emotionless. Where Cancers are clingy when they love someone, Capricorn loves detached. They're not the type of person, if they love you in a romantic relationship, they're not the type that's gonna just cling on to you. And they're gonna have their own space. They're the type of person where you could be sitting on one end and they're sitting on the other end. You're reading the book, doing whatever you're doing, and they're doing their own thing. But you are married or you're in a relationship. These are the type of people, this is how lunar Capricorns are. They love detached. But they are very passionate when it's time to really become one with one another in a romantic relationship. They can be very passionate, very physical. But this is usually how they show their love. They show their love in a physical aspect, in a physical manner. Because these people are workaholics. They like to work, climb, work. That's what they like to do. So when you're intimate with each other, you're in your bedroom, they're gonna work, and they're gonna be passionate about it. So the bedroom could be filled with lots of passion, lots of love making. Because these people are very physical people. They're very physical beings. This is how they show their emotions, is through physicalities. Just being physical. Lunar Capricorn people, when they commit to something, they're usually very loyal. So these people tend to be very loyal in relationships. They don't stray fast. They stay there. And again, you guys, this is me talking only about moon in Capricorn. No harsh aspects or conjunctions. Just moon in Capricorn. Again, that when you actually look over your personal chart, that is when you'll be able to understand who you are and how your moon in Capricorn affects you. I'm doing a general overview, okay? Capricorn, lunar Capricorn people are usually very good with money. They're usually very good. Now, of course, if your moon is debilitated, of course, it would be the opposite. You may be the type to just really not do very good with your money, okay? But usually lunar Capricorn people are very good at money because they have that structure in their life and routine. So they're really good with saving their money, or taking their money and using their money wisely in a way that they will be able to have structure in their life, because that's what Saturn represents. It represents structure. Lunar Capricorn people are usually the sole providers for their families. This is, with this placement, you can see the female lunar Capricorn making more money than her husband. Or they're gonna be neck and neck. Or lunar Capricorn people are single and they have to take care of their household all by themselves. Or it could be a situation where the lunar Capricorn woman works and her husband is a stay-at-home dad. I can see that happening with this type of placement. Because a lunar Capricorn person, they don't like to not work. Even if a lunar Capricorn person is a stay-at-home wife or dad, the house is probably going to be spick and span clean. They're going to work. They make really good housewives and husbands if that's their choice of career or choice of lifestyle. They will make very good house husbands, housewives, because the house is going to be clean. Again, if it's debilitated, it will be the opposite. But for the most part, a moon with no harsh conflicts, these people are going to work all day long in their home, because these people need to feel useful at all times. If a lunar Capricorn person feels useless, they could fall into depression, because these people are very, very hard on themselves, because they usually work really hard to succeed, because they were restricted in their childhood, because their mother always complained or they always had a lack of things. So in their adult life, they want to always have, and they learned from a very early age, in order to have anything, you must work for it. So these lunar Capricorns were born with a mindset that I have to work to earn things. So that's usually why throughout their whole life, until they're about 35, they work, making sure everything is in place. Making sure they got their finances all together. Making sure that their family is very well taken care of. And usually when lunar Capricorn people get their kids up and grown and on about their business, that's when they tap into their youth. That is when they become that kid again. That's when they feel like they could live their life as they want to, with that freedom. They know that, because that is the reward of Saturn. They no longer have these restrictions on their life. The boundaries that was once set for them from childhood all the way up to 35, they're no longer there. Those boundaries are no longer there. Now these lunar Capricorns begin to live their life. Throughout a lunar Capricorn's life, their life is challenging, very challenging, because this is a very difficult place for your moon, because this is your emotional self. The moon represents your emotional self, but you have Capricorn, a sign that is emotionless. So throughout a lunar Capricorn's life, it's been very difficult. It's a hard road, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. But wherever you are wounded, that's usually where the light gets in. And wherever the light gets into, that's where you shine the brightest. So lunar Capricorn, Saturn may restrict you because it's a restrictive planet. But just remember that you also receive rewards from Saturn. And the rewards for a lunar Capricorn person is you live a long life. And when you reach about 30, 35 to 40, that's when you really, really begin to live your life free. Because by that time, you've taken care of all your responsibilities. You've gotten into your routine. You know how things work. You've built a little nest egg for yourself. You got money saved. You got things in place. You got things paid off. Guess what? That's when lunar Capricorns feel free. Because at that point, you are receiving, you are reaping the rewards of Saturn. And that's when your heart and who you are as a person shine the brightest. A lot of people dread having this placement. But I don't feel that any placement is horrible or bad. It's just some placements are more challenging than others. And this just happens to be one of those placements that is very difficult and can be very challenging at times. But if you keep in mind, lunar Capricorns, the rewards of Saturn, then I guarantee you, you will not dread having this placement. Because as you grow, you will understand that who you are as a person, and you'll be able to cope with who you are. And with this placement, only advice I can give you is to continuously work on who you are. Work on being that person that shows love. Show your emotions. When you're upset, don't hold it in. Express it. Don't worry about getting out of place. Because sometimes we need to express. That's why with you guys, sometimes you can fall into a slight depression because you don't want to cause an uproar. Why? Because you are a structured person. And you causing an uproar will destroy structure. There's no structure there. The boundaries you set for your life as a person, as a human being, if you step outside of those boundaries, then for you it feels like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing because you're a routine person. But Capricorn, it's okay sometimes to express what you're feeling, because actually that is the best thing for lunar Capricorns, is to express how you feel. Because a lot of times you guys hold in so much because you feel like I'm the responsible one. I've always had to be strong my whole life. I cannot be weak. I have to always be strong. I always have to stand my ground. I have no one to depend on but myself. And that's not true. You have others who will be more than happy to lend a helping hand to you and to support you. And so lunar Capricorns, express yourself, show love. You know, even when you feel like, oh, I just want to be so detached, I don't want to be touched, I don't want to be bothered, show love. Show love. Because that is your challenge in this life, is to love with your emotions and not be so practical and not have everything so routine. And don't worry, you will get there. This is my analysis of Moon in Capricorn. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will be doing more Moon videos, but I just started with this one because I have my Moon in Capricorn also. So until next time, you guys, I wish you much love, peace, and many wonderful, wonderful blessings. Bye.